right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast, NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here alone for a solo show. The full episode with John and Chuck will come out on Thursday. Thursday, when the NBA regular season will have been concluded. No more basketball. We only have 2 more nights of the NBA regular season on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tonight, Monday night, the Virginia Cavaliers, a year after losing in the first round to a 16 seed, they've avenged their honor, their national champions, and so forth and whatever. Blah, blah, blah. The NBA didn't play tonight. Boo-hoo. We only have 2 nights left of regular season basketball. Then the great slog of the playoffs begins. It'll be fine, because, of course, the Orlando Magic and Brooklyn Nets are in, which will be some fun first-round fodder. Today's show is just a little bit different. First, the Roundball Rock guys, Sean and Joey, come on talking about some of the stars of April, some of the, not your typical stars, guys on teams that aren't trying to win, perhaps, teams that don't want to win, that end up accidentally winning. So we're focusing on some of the best performances we've seen so far in April. We also talk a little bit about the Orlando Magic clinching a playoff berth and all the stuff that means, plus the Athletic NBA had a little player survey. Talk about some of that. And then I do kind of a little extended Grizzlies epilogue where at the game I went to see Grizzlies Mavs on Sunday. I spoke with several people. I recorded just a couple with Mark King from Locked On Grizzlies and Peter Edmiston from The Athletic, and Phillip Dean from Fox Sports Grizzlies. I just recorded them briefly during the game. The audio was a little funny, because the game was going on, but it wasn't that loud because not that many people were there, and the people who were there weren't all watching the game. So I recorded just a few things with them, talking about the Grizzlies that hopefully you will enjoy. If you want to support our show, you can do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Another way is to download the Draft app. I highly recommend it. I've talked about it before. The Draft app is a daily fantasy app, and it's for all sports, but I only play it for the NBA games. Your fantasy basketball seasons are over. The playoffs are starting. Last year during the playoffs, I made actually a lot of money doing Draft. The way Draft works is you just join like a 3 or 4 person draft where it's daily fantasy, but you don't use salary caps. You do either a snake draft or a blind auction draft. That way, you're not playing against like sharks or sharps who are coming in, just loading in their preset lineups. You can't do that. You actually have to go through a snake draft. The snake draft itself is fun. I mainly just play for a buck. And then, if you think DeLon Wright's going to have another big game, you get him. And so it's really fun that way. The thing I love the most about it is you can just play against your friends. Like, you don't have to play against complete strangers. I can just play against Fast Break Breakfast listeners. My username is Fast Break Breakfast. If you sign up at draft.com/fastbreak and use our code FASTBREAK, you can find me on there, and then I can follow you, and then we can play these games together. We can play head-to-head for a buck, especially once the playoffs start. Again, I cleaned up last year, something about there only being 2 or 3 games a night. It was really easy to focus on my strategy. Like, I knew Donovan Mitchell was going to go off and building around that. But again, if you want to play, you can play for free. You don't have to play for money if you don't want to. It's just a lot of fun. It's another way to enjoy the basketball that you're already watching. It's a little fun game to play on this side. If you do use our code FASTBREAK when you download it, you get a free entry into a $3 game. It's a little thank you for signing up. So again, download it, add it to your repertoire of when you're watching NBA games. I highly recommend it. I've been playing it for over a year, and I think they have a really well-made app. It's a lot of fun. And another bonus is it's legal since it's fantasy sports. You don't have to be worried about, like, is my bank okay with this? Is it going to be hard to get my money out? No, you can just use your normal U.S. bank. You can use PayPal. They'll PayPal you back immediatly if you want to just try it out, play, decide it's not for you. That's fine, but it's completely legal because it's fantasy sports. So there's no weird run around there to getting your money out. Give it a spin. I think you will enjoy it. Draft.com/fastbreak. Also, just draft in the iTunes store or in the Android app store. Draft.com/fastbreak. Use our code FASTBREAK. Get that free $3 game. Let them know that we sent you. All right, now let's talk basketball with the Roundball Rock boys. My guests today are the hosts of the Roundball Rock podcast, Joey Devine and Sean Keane. Gentlemen, welcome. I'll start with Joey. Did you have breakfast? Was it a Red Bull?
Not.
Was it a Red Bull
I
cut
did
with
have
Mountain
a Red
Dew?
Bull and a cigarette. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
So that counts, I guess.
Cigarette chaser. Great.
I smoked it. I did not eat it.
Sean, did you have a breakfast?
I did. I was going to make avocado toast, and then the avocado I had turned.
Oh, I know
so
that.
I had 2 pieces of peanut butter toast instead.
That is quite the journey from just millennial just treat to just poor child.
Poor child's breakfast.
Packing a poor child's lunch.
Latchkey kid lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know when you're making the avocado toast and then you realize you don't have a lime? Like just a lime to spritz on top, and then it's like, what is this? Let me give this to a dog. Can't eat this.
I like to put cumin on it.
Oh. Is that a real thing?
It's a spice, you know.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I know cumin's a real thing, but cumin on the avocado toast.
As an avocado toast?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just did it once. I don't know if normal people do that.
That's good. Well, you guys are the hosts of the Roundball Rock podcast. And the Roundball Rock podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. And you guys just started your Patreon.
We sure did.
So congratulations. It looks like a very successful opening week. Although one person you said has pledged $100 a month. And did they do that on purpose? That's a lot.
We're not sure.
It's not clear yet.
You haven't brought it to the person's attention. Like, are you aware you've pledged $100 a month?
I mean, we're definitely going to. She's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And it would not be out of character for her to have accidentally done that. Let's just say that. Right, Sean?
Yes, but also I wouldn't completely be surprised if that was. She's very supportive,
yes,
so I wouldn't
be
like shocked. But I also think that in a way, like $100 is kind of her increment for things.
Oh,
if
that's
that
just her
makes
unit.
sense.
Okay, yeah.
She's boyfriend's a doctor, you know. So
so maybe she's just like, whatever. I'm going to give the 100.
I have a feeling she thought it was a one-time pledge, though.
Yeah, I also have that feeling.
Well, congratulations to that. What is the what's the URL? How do people find your Patreon?
It's patreon.com/roundrockpod.
Perfect. So
which is also our email at Gmail and our Twitter.
I'm very comfortable with listeners of Fast Break Breakfast who are not our Patreon supporters. I'm very comfortable. Just go and be Roundball Rock's Patreon supporters. It'll be fine. Things will be totally cool until the Roundball Rock podcast Patreon surpasses ours, which it's on the pace to, because after just a few days, you guys are doing well. So congratulations. But everyone go support Roundball Rock. Listen to the Roundball Rock podcast.
Thanks a lot, Keith.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I wanted to have you on. I was riding back in a car from Memphis. I went to go see the Grizzlies and the Mavericks play on Sunday. One of, I think, 3 games on Sunday where the team that wanted to win lost to a team that wanted to lose. So
Yes.
April's going excellently for a lot of teams. That game probably cost me about $400 because I bet $200. My friend and I guess Lakers Twitter legend Damon Rangula texted me over the summer and was like, the Grizzlies over under, it's 33.5. Should we put $200 on that? I was like, yeah, why not? The Grizzlies want to win games. They should be able to clean up post All-Star break when everyone else wants to lose, and losing to the Mavericks, who desperately wanted to lose. And we're playing Salah Mejri 32 minutes, and someone named Daryl Macon hit a big free throw. And the Grizzlies
They're
lost.
normally the Mavs are normally so proficient in stealth tanking.
Yeah.
Like losing 55 games with a point differential that's even,
positive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be like they're +3 on the season and they lost 48 games.
Yeah, they talk about teams that know how to win. They're a team that knows how to lose.
Yeah, I feel like Rick Carlisle is universally praised as being kind of a wizard or a warlock of like just a great coach. Gets a lot out of all these random little guards. His record is horrible over the last several years. They lose so many games. And again, it seems like they've been kind of trying to lose for a while at the second half of the season. But anyway,
he also loses so many point guards, just like personality wise, you know.
I am blown away by this box score, Keith. Daryl Macon played 32 minutes. Somebody named Ryan Brokoff played 16 minutes.
I do know who Ryan Brokoff is.
Yeah, you should know who Ryan Brokoff is. He's been a while. He's been around a bit.
He's like, who's that? The fake unicorn on the Knicks. That white guy they play all the time now. Yeah, he's like a garbage guard, Luke Cornett. But he's like a wing.
He's more of a Ron Baker, like a taller Ron Baker. He's just like a shooter. He does nothing. He's
like short Luke Cornett.
He's very tan though. I will say
he looks like an undercover cop.
It's been a big month for undercover cops actually, because Alex Caruso has also been dominating.
Well, so I was going to get to this. Let's get to it now. So speaking of Ryan Brokoff, speaking of Alex Caruso, speaking of Salah Mejri, who, again, the Grizzlies had literally no answer for. He scored something like 7 straight points or 9 straight points, overlapping regulation and overtime. He was hitting step-back threes. He was just sagging in the paint and like guarding the goal. And the Grizzlies are like, I don't know what to do. There's a really big guy by the goal. I'm not sure how we score now. But I was looking at some of these incredible box scores or these individual performances from April, and I was kind of picking out my all April NBA team. Are there any box scores or guys who have jumped out to you who you would like to recognize as being perhaps part of the all April NBA squad?
I mean, for me, it was a race between two guys. It was Caruso versus my man Mario Hezonja, and I gotta pick Hezonja, man. First off, I'm on Mario Hezonja's basketball reference page right now, and do you know who sponsors it?
I don't.
Danny LaRue.
Oh, he still has it because they don't let you sponsor new ones, but I know they let you can grandfather in if you already sponsored one.
But for April, our man Mario has played in 3 games. He's averaging 37 minutes a game.
Yeah.
He's shooting 53%. He's averaging 25 points, 7 assists.
Yeah.
81% from the line, 10.3 rebounds, and 4.3 turnovers a game. Yeah. You got to love a guy who has almost 5 turnovers a game.
That is a smooth 25 point, 10 rebounds, 7 assists average.
Yeah, that's like a Tracy McGrady Orlando Magic season.
Yeah. And leading the Knicks to a victory. I mean, he got I think it was a career high 30 points the other day.
He's had it twice this month.
Oh, nice.
It was 29 and then he got 30.
Yeah,
he huge triple double. Oh yeah.
They played him against the Magic and basically we're going to play him until his legs fell off. He kept waving off subs and eventually just fouled out of the game. But Fizdale was just like, look, he cares a lot about this team.
What did he tell that fan?
Well, I think a fan was saying, "Hey, you suck," and he was like,
"Oh yeah," and he said, "Are you watching?
Watching?" Good mention of Alex Caruso, who has Lakers fans up in arms. Lakers also winning on Sunday, and when they did not want to. Caruso this month is averaging 18.5 points, 7.3 assists per game, 4 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. Also, pretty nice stuff.
Sean and I have been on the Caruso bandwagon for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Well, he's a Summer League guy.
Yeah, we loved him at Summer League. And the thing I love the most about him is he looks like a much older man pretending to be like he looks like he's in a 21 Jump Street situation.
No, exactly. Well, that's the Summer League, the unstoppable Lakers Summer League backcourt of Caruso and Hart does sound like a TNT original.
It really should be, actually. The other box score that just blew me away in that same Lakers-Jazz game on Sunday was Jamario Jones had 16 rebounds and 5 assists against the Jazz. It was like truly incredible. He played 38 minutes. He only took 5 shots. Apparently, he was taking a lot of threes. I've never heard of this guy, too.
Yeah, I had not heard of him.
Mexico State.
At all.
But he's playing a ton of minutes now, and definitely beat a Utah team that was definitely trying.
Yeah, trying to get home court advantage. A team that had won a lot of games recently. They've been really good.
And you know what it was? They had the rummy LeBron James was not on the roster, and there's a new temperance movement in Los Angeles now. He won't be. Their best player won't be just chugging wine on the bench anymore, and I think that gave the team a lift.
Also, with that funny 16 boards, 5 assists, that reminds me, I hadn't even written this guy down in my notes, but Dragan Bender the other evening became the first player this season to record 7 blocks and 6 assists in a game.
He's also the first player in NBA history to get called for a travel while not traveling.
That was incredible. I didn't dig deep into that video, but it was just he was just dribbling the ball up the court, and the refs was like, no, travel. Did anyone get an explanation? Was there anything more to that clip other than the 5-second
I didn't
video?
see one.
Yeah. He's the only player. Oh, actually, there's 3 players ever now to have 7 blocks, 6 assists in a game, and to foul out. And that's Dragan Bender, Ralph Sampson, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So some pretty heady company.
You heard it here first. Dragan Bender is the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow.
I gotta nominate a guy for the All-April team for the Chicago Bulls. They signed him, I believe, straight from the Big Three 2 weeks ago. Jakar Sampson.
Wow.
Jakar Sampson is averaging 23 points per game, 8 rebounds, a steal, and a block per game this month, putting up some massive numbers.
Most awesome soul in April, according to Jim Boylan.
Oh, yeah. He's a kind soul. He's a guy, when I see his numbers, and when I see all these numbers, I'm reminded how last year Marshawn Brooks for the Grizzlies averaged 21 points per game in April, and the Grizzlies were like, this guy is awesome. Let's give him a guaranteed deal for the following season. So
definitely Ernie Grunfeld won't be confused by that.
Yeah. That's not going to be another guy. I guess my final 2 for April. Ian Clark winning these Pelicans games that they desperately wanted. The Pelicans had a clear path to the 6th seed in the lottery, the 6th worst record, and Ian Clark has been on fire, averaging 24 points per game in April. Also, the man I saw on Sunday, maybe my new favorite Memphis Grizzly, DeLon Wright, who is the poor man's Russell Westbrook, averaging 19 points per game, 10.7 assists, and 9 rebounds over 3 games in April. He has the first back-to-back triple-double in Memphis Grizzlies franchise history. He might be the April player of the month.
You're not allowed to be
root for
triple
just
double.
it's just like any other rebound.
It's just like any other. Yeah, so Nate Duncan on, what was that? I guess Friday night was watching the end of the Grizzlies Mavericks game, and Nate Duncan was
he got so mad.
He was very upset that the Grizzlies broadcast team really celebrated DeLon Wright picking up the 10th rebound in a meaningless game. And it's like, well, it wasn't the 10th rebound, it was a triple-double. And we've only had, I think that was the 15th triple-double in the history of the Grizzlies.
That's crazy.
So
it's not a team that's known for playing at a super fast pace.
Right. So, I mean, when a backup guard picks up a triple-double in the end of a blowout, it's kind of fun. It's kind of entertaining. And I shot back at Nate on Twitter, just like, when one of your players gets a triple-double in an otherwise lost season, some people find that enjoyable. And he replied with, there were a lot of other things you could have been celebrating instead of the 10th rebound. Which, again, I have a don't reply it. I have like a new rule where I want the person higher than me in the food chain to be the last one to reply. I feel like a lot of times on Twitter you feel the need to reply again,
and then they don't respond, and you look like
so. I like to cut it off first. But my thought was exactly what. Like exactly what other thing should I have been celebrating at the end of an 18-point victory
Chandler
over
Parsons
the Mavericks?
Finally playing games.
Right. Chandler Parsons finally having the longest successful streak of his Grizzlies career. And he's actually given me a lot to think about going into next season. I don't know what to do. He's actually kind of okay now. So leaving that Grizzlies game where I saw DeLon Wright pull off his back-to-back triple-double, where I saw Salah Mejri be completely unstoppable, on the way home, I'm looking on Twitter, and I see that Evan Fournier has tweeted a picture of himself celebrating clinching the playoffs.
Champs, baby. Southeast Division champs.
Yes, Joey. My mind was blown when I saw that they were wearing division champion shirts. Not that I have any problem with a kind of also ran NBA franchise celebrating things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what?
It hadn't occurred to me that they were going to win their division. Like, as much as I look at the NBA every single day and think about it, I had no idea that the Southeastern Division champ was fighting to be 500 and was not clinched until the second to last game of the season.
Apparently it matters in tiebreakers to be the division champ too. So it's not totally meaningless, but it's almost totally meaningless.
So years ago, it used to give you home court advantage, even if your record was worse.
From it. Orlando would be the 3 seed right now if this was like 2006.
Yeah, I'm at a loss.
Incredible.
So this is as far as I can tell, at least in the last like 15 years, this is the worst team to win record-wise to win their division. It also, I think, I started wondering, can a division be shut out of the playoffs? Because that's what I want to happen now.
Oh.
Like, it wasn't, I mean, the way it is this year, one of the Magic, the Heat, or I guess the Hornets were going to get in. But if division really doesn't mean anything, it would be hilarious if there was a team that was division champs that didn't even qualify for the playoffs. This might be my new, I might be more passionate about this going forward than I am chasing the Jacques watch to see if any player will start the season by missing their first 24 shots to set
that's a Jacques Vaughn stat.
Yeah, the Jacques Vaughn record. That is like my most passionate thing. This might be the new one to see if we can shut a division out of the postseason.
You know, I'm looking, and it looks like it's got to be for the near future. It's got to be the Southeast that this could happen to. Right. And honestly, would I be that surprised if those 5 teams were all below 500 next year too? Not one bit.
Right. They don't have, I mean, even the Magic, where somehow Steve Clifford has MacGyvered this, crap roster into the postseason. Like, what do they have going for them? Like, what are their, I mean, Jonathan Isaac is like kind of neat if you're a deep diving NBA hipster. He's not like good yet. Like Nick Vucevic, he can leave.
He might leave.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna leave.
How long do you think? Like, there's a lot of miles on that DJ Augustin.
Right. Terrence Ross, honestly, is like maybe the second best shooting guard free agent next year.
He's gonna leave.
He's made himself a ton of money with just a average decent season this year.
Well, Fultz is gonna play next year, right?
Best tweet I saw about this. I don't know who said it. I'm sorry, but he said Markel got the Magic to the playoffs in just his second season, faster than Ben Simmons, or faster than Joel Embiid. So
he's 2 for 2 for playoffs in his seasons.
Oh yeah, no, he's honestly, if they make the finals, will he play? That should be someone should write that article. I mean, Vucevic now is easy. He's a division champ. Anthony Davis never won a division.
It's true.
Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, they never won a division.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Vucevic is my unicorn.
Is a division champion. Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Wes Iwundu. And, of course, he's won a division championship before, so he knows what it takes. Timofey Mozgov.
Oh, man. Well, finally, the NBA, the Athletic NBA had a little player survey to, we don't know who responded exactly to this player survey. One might wonder it might be like the bottom 5 players on every bench who the beat reporters could actually hey, will you fill out my survey, please? But there was a couple funny notes. One, they asked who is the greatest player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Was it just one person or did more than one person pick Kevin Durant?
It was 1%, so I'm assuming one
it was
person.
117 votes, so that's one person.
So one person voted Kevin Durant. That was, who do we think? Kevin Durant?
Rich Kleinman.
I could see it being like Draymond Green as well.
Yeah, that could be. I did see Draymond Green the most overrated.
Mm-hmm. Tied
NBA
with
player.
Russell Westbrook.
That feels kind of right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does actually feel right. The weird ones on the overrated list, what was funny was so Draymond Green and Westbrook got 17. Then there was a 3-way tie for third, which was Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns. Also, someone voted for John College, which was like, okay.
Someone voted Semi Ojeleye for that too.
I think that was Aaron Baines, given the frequency that Aaron Baines appears on this on these lists.
Who has lost playing time to Semi Ojeleye? Because that has to be who voted for him.
Gershon Yabusele?
Yeah, Yabusele is like, I can't believe Semi gets in over me. Was it someone maybe from the draft?
Maybe it's Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. There's only 47 people voted for overrated and 116 voted for underrated.
I'm going to say, you guys, so the guy picked right immediately behind Semi Ojeleye in the 2017 draft was Jordan Bell. Perhaps Jordan Bell voted Semi Ojeleye.
Oh, he's still mad.
He still has that simmering feud against Semi Ojeleye. Also, I guess finally, the one response that I saw that I was most confused by was they asked the NBA players, who would you want to build your team around? Like, which player would you want to build your team around? One person said, Shaq Harrison?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind building my team around Shaq, but not Shaq Harrison.
I mean, does maybe Shaq Harrison, is he really good at Fortnite? And they're playing a bunch of team Fortnite?
He's building, yeah.
Does he has some off the court connections maybe that are in high demand? Good for team chemistry?
He got the same number of votes as James Harden. And Udonis Haslem.
Yeah, I understand. I did like Udonis Haslem, assuming one Heat player thinks the most important thing is the culture. You got to build the culture first. Doesn't matter about talent. You got to have that culture that will miss the playoffs this season in the Southeastern Division.
And pit breeding, which is also one of Udonis Haslem's specialties.
Well, anyway, gentlemen, I appreciate the good time. Tell people again if they want to support the Roundball Rock podcast, Patreon. If you're a Fast Break Breakfast listener, you will like Roundball Rock. Plug that Patreon one more time.
Sure, it's Patreon. Go ahead, Sean.
Patreon.com/RoundRockPod. And if we reach our first goal of $1,000 a month, we will read Kobe Bryant's book, the Wizard series : Training Camp. And you know what? It doesn't say it officially on the Patreon, but we will read all of them. We're going to read the whole series.
Is it actually called Training Camp? That's
the first one's called Training with the Wizard series : Training Camp.
Now, what I would like to see,
which means there's more coming.
what I would feel would be right up Roundball Rock's alley is to create your own mashup of the Wizard series Training Day, and do a Training Day Wizard series mashup. I think there could be some good stuff there for you guys to mine.
I think we might have to make some Patreon specific content about that.
You guys step onto the Patreon. Well, Joey and Sean, a pleasure to talk with you guys as always. Best of luck with the Patreon, and look forward to talking with you guys soon.
Thanks a lot, Keith.
All right, thanks to Sean and Joey from Roundball Rock. Make sure you check out their Patreon, patreon.com/RoundRockPod. All right, now for something completely different. A few field recordings, sort of, from the Grizzlies game on Sunday. A brief Grizzlies epilogue where I talk with Mark King from Locked On Grizzlies, Phillip Dean from Fox Sports Grizzlies, and Peter Edmiston of the Athletic Memphis. So a little Grizzlies epilogue, talking to a couple of the people that I saw on Sunday. Talking during the game, you'll hear some of the sounds of the game going on while we're talking. I hope you enjoy it. With Phillip Dean from Fox Sports. Phillip, our watch parties in Nashville gotten a little depressing, a little morose. Do you have any advice for us to maybe lighten the atmosphere at our Nashville watch parties?
Well, I think the goal right now for you is to convey the watch parties right now. And to someone preferably in Boston right now is what I'm told. That I'm hearing conveying is the trending thing to do right now.
We don't want to keep the watch parties. We want to convey the watch parties.
Yes, I would say convey the watch parties right now to the Boston watch parties and see what you can get out of it. So maybe look for a younger crowd in the draft.
If we could get a younger watch party asset, yes. I think we would do that. I mean, we have a good veteran watch party, but right now, the state of the franchise, I think looking to the future, you're right.
Yes.
Probably the right plan.
The goal right now is to convey your watch parties. That would be my plan.
Thank you, Phillip. All right, here with Mark King of Locked On Grizzlies and Grizzly Bear Blues. Mark, yet another trash season from the Memphis Grizzlies. But they picked up some young guys, maybe looking forward to the future. You got DeLon Wright in the trade with the Raptors. Also, Bruno Caboclo, former Raptor, but brought in independently of that. And Tyler Dorsey. Of those guys, what do you see them contributing to the Grizzlies after this season? Because all of them, Bruno's going to be back, we assume, unless they just paid him off and they're going to cut him like they've done before. But Tyler Dorsey, like a throwaway from the Hawks, not a restricted free agent. And then DeLon Wright, going to be a big free agent. So what are you thinking from those guys?
DeLon Wright's is going to be the biggest name. I mean, he's I think your most significant long-term player. He's probably your backup point guard, and if that's what he is, I mean, he is a backup point guard in this league, and he could be a really good backup third guard. You could play him with Mike off the ball, but I mean, DeLon Wright's going to be the most significant portion, like long-term for the Grizzlies. Bruno, I think it could be a player, but I mean, I think he's still got a long way to go to learn how to consistently do things on the court. He's shown that over the last few weeks that he's able to go back to some moves that he's done in the past and consistently do those over and over again. Tyler Dorsey, I like Tyler. I think he's a good guard. I just don't know if you have room for him next year. You have DeLon. Right now, at the moment, you're going to have Mike. So, I mean, it depends on if you bring Mike back or not. If Mike's gone, I think you could bring Tyler back on some type of minimum deal and see what you got with him, because if Mike's gone, presumably you're not going to be good again. So, but I like Tyler Dorsey. Out of all those people, I think Bruno may have the least shot of making it.
So Tyler Dorsey for me is he's the gunner. He's the looter in the riot. The season's over. He likes to gun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anything he does actually translates. He like we're watching this Mavs game. He reminds me of a Trey Burke, who I think might be a career gunner, just on a bad team. That might be ceiling for Tyler Dorsey. I'm not super sure.
Yeah, I mean, and you're probably right. Like, I don't know if Tyler Dorsey ever has a long-term career in the NBA. At best, he's a role player off the bench, and probably on a bad team. So that's like I said. If you bring Mike back, I don't think you have room for Tyler Dorsey next year, or he has playing time. But if Mike's not back, you bring him back and just see what you got, and maybe something turns out. But if you don't, then you don't.
So DeLon Wright, as you said, obviously the best one of those guys, a guy who could be around for a while. He's been kind of killing it statistically while Mike's been out. If Mike Conley gets traded, and if he is in line to maybe be a Grizzlies starting guard next year, do you think he can handle it, or does that mean the Grizzlies are going to be real bad again?
I mean, if DeLon Wright's your starting point guard, I think that the Grizzlies are probably going to be bad again. I don't know. I think DeLon Wright's a really good player in this league. I just don't know if he is a starting caliber player in this league. And so I think he's a really good, exceptional backup third guard. Can probably play, a combo type of guard, but I just don't know if he can handle that load of being able your starting point guard. I prefer my starting point guards to be able to shoot the basketball, and so DeLon Wright that's not his forte. He's more of a get it to the basket type of guy, which is great. But again, for me, I need my starting point guard to be able to create offense and also shoot the basketball from the three-point line.
If they're gonna be starting next year, Jonas Valanciunas, Slow-Mo, Kyle Anderson, and DeLon Wright, they're gonna need maybe to find the greatest chucker of all time to play the 2-guard, because somebody's gonna have to shoot.
Yeah, you can't go out here and play Kyle and DeLon and Jonas all at the same time. I mean, you can't depend on Jaren would be your starting forward and go out and just be your bucket getter, because he doesn't control the basketball. He's not a guard. It's hard for him to be able to get his own buckets because he has to depend on someone else to get the basketball from them. So yeah, you can't have that lineup and expect to really score the basketball at a significant pace. And as we've seen, you have to be able to do that to win games. You can't. The defense thing just doesn't work.
Well, that's what you think, Mark. The Grizzlies, we like to zag when others zig.
Yes, we like to zag, and it doesn't work at all.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
All right, it's Peter Edmiston of the Athletic Memphis, who is currently watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, the Grizzlies are wrapping
I'm
up.
watching this game, Keith.
Right. Peter has on his full over-the-ear headphones, watching on his laptop the WrestleMania. No, Peter, the Grizzlies, this is the 4th straight season the Grizzlies have a losing record after the All-Star break. It's been 5 years since they've been good.
Yep.
But I feel like the team's in denial about that. What have we done as Grizzlies fans and or media who are watching it to deserve a team that doesn't understand it's been bad actually for kind of a while?
Well, I think you have to ask yourself the question, Keith, as to what you've done. Each of us has to ask that single question.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is probably very little. But what has the organization done to be better is the framework that I would use. And the answer is not nearly enough. I wrote about it a few days ago. Like, man, there's no reason to think that Robert Pera actually notices what's going on or has a real concern one way or the other. So as long as that's the case, then they're going to continue to be able to kind of meander along and figure out, okay, well, maybe we'll do this, lurch along. Oh, the end of the season. Oh, it's fun to watch Marshawn Brooks. Oh, look at DeLon Wright has a triple-double. Like, I mean, you can't get fooled again, man. Like, I would think last year would have told people that these games at the end of the year are, I'm not going to say meaningless, because there are, it's nice to see players out there play, and that's always good to get out there. But you're playing against a team tonight in the Mavericks that they don't want to win organizationally. It's better for them to lose.
Right.
It is better. They made that crystal clear when they played the Grizzlies. Each of the times they played them this year, they're not that interested in winning this game. So what can you take from those performances? I don't know. And how can you improve? Well, it would start with having a plan, like more than 6 months in advance. So that would be my number one thing. But will they do that, Keith? I don't know.
So it's the essence of that was it's my fault for whatever's happened. I brought this upon myself.
You haven't been here all that much, and when you're absent, when the cat's away, the mice will play.
It's true. Well, so physically in person,
you're the one that kind
of
keeps them on their toes a little bit.
I will say they were good until I came and saw them play the Lakers in December, and then it all kind of fell apart.
That was just an absolute beatdown. That game. That was embarrassing. So especially considering how bad the Lakers are.
You mentioned Marshawn Brooks from last year, and you think people would have learned their lessons. Yeah. Yet they have not. It seems like everyone is excited about, like, guys,
they want to bring it back.
Jonas Valanciunas can average 20 points per game. This team, we got to bring him back.
Run it back, baby. Run it back. Look, man, Jonas is a good story. He's a really nice guy. I like Jonas a lot. I think there is a role for him to play. But again, ask yourself, look around the league. How many teams are built around two big men? Right. How many teams are built around a center who's making 8 digits and winning?
Right.
It's just not that many. And if you're going to choose to do that, you better make sure that you've got a guy that is really, really, really worth it. And when Karl Anthony Towns can't lead the Timberwolves, who are a better talent, more talented team, and he's certainly far more talented than Jonas and younger, then I question whether you really are going to get led to the promised land by a big man.
Right, but if you don't know, he shoots it all the time, and that's what we need as a team. So Grizzlies are very excited.
He backs people down.
That is kind of fun.
Cool. That's fun. It's fun to watch him bully people. Yeah. Like I said, he's a good dude and got a cool beard, and that's all cool. So, like, I like him. I'm not saying you shouldn't re-up him or something, but just you have to be, like, it's got to make sense. You can't just go crazy. If you can find a nice little extension and not go nuts with it, fair enough. But the market is not going to be huge.
Right.
For Jonas Valanciunas.
Don't pay money for sinners. Anyway, Peter, thank you for your time. Go back to WrestleMania.
Listen, we can sit here all afternoon if you want, Keith. I'm just sitting here watching WrestleMania in this game, so mostly WrestleMania to be fair.
All right. Thanks for checking out this episode of Fast Break Breakfast. And thanks to everyone who appeared on the show. If you want to support our show, you do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Another way you can support us is downloading the Draft app in the iTunes store or at draft.com/fastbreak and use our code FASTBREAK when you sign up. You can follow me on Twitter at FastBreak. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fast break, man. You understand?
Buying tickets online for sports and concerts has never been easier thanks to SeatGeek. They've created an amazing app and website that makes ticket buying easier than it has ever been. They pull all the tickets available on other sites into one place so you never miss a deal, and more importantly, you aren't wasting time. You can even set alerts for upcoming events, and they'll let you know if ticket prices fall. Even better, every ticket on SeatGeek is ranked based on value, so you can immediately find underpriced seats. And before you buy, you can use SeatGeek's detailed maps to see the view from your seat. I've got the SeatGeek app on my phone, and I use it all the time. SeatGeek is always honest and upfront about the price. You get to see the full ticket price from start to finish, and they never surprise you with big fees at the checkout page. Now, here's the best part about SeatGeek for all of you out there listening to the Fast Break Breakfast. My listeners who make their first SeatGeek purchase get a $20 rebate. And to get it, all you have to do is download the free SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab and click add a promo code, then enter promo code FASTBREAK. SeatGeek will then send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. It does not get any easier than that. So download the free SeatGeek app and enter promo code FASTBREAK today.